So in the previous lecture, we discussed how to create enum inside the method as well as how to create enum outside the main method. So in continuation with the previous lecture, we are going to discuss what are the other possibilities of using enum. We declared the enum outside the complete class. Here the class name is myDemo. Outside the class, we declared the enumeration type called season and we given some possible values here. Now, inside the main method, I am creating an object for the season. Season s is equal to season.winter. So, in previous lecture, we discussed how to access all the members of that particular enumeration type. If you want to restrict that access to one particular member, then I am writing season s is equal to season.winter. This particular variable is going to be accessed here. So, system.out.println s. So, s is here winter. So, it is going to print winter. Let us see what is going to happen here. As you can see, we got a output called winter. So if you take another example, just I am pausing here to reduce the length of the video. After typing, I will start continuation. Okay. Yeah. Now, so if you take this example, we have a class here, class called enumeration demo, and this is my class definition we have here, and this is main class. So inside the class, we declared a enumeration type here. Right? So enumeration season, spring, summer, monsoon, autumn, and as well as winter. Now, I declared I am going to create one object called CS for this particular season. As you can see here, private season CS here I am writing. So that is, we can call this as a instance variable or we can call this as an object of the enumeration type called season. So for season enumeration class, we are going to have an object called CS here. With the help of CS, with the help of this object, we are going to access the members of this particular enumeration type. So now I'm going to declare one method name here, enumeration demo. So what is the class name here? Enum demo, and the method name is also enum demo. When the method name and the class name is same, we can call this as a constructor. So that means in enumeration type also, whatever the class name and whatever the enumeration name and whatever the method name, if we have same name, then we can call that as a constructor. And here that class name is enum demo and the method name is also enum demo. We can call this as a constructor. And we are passing one parameter here, so we can call this as a parameterized constructor. Then this dot cs is equal to season means what? So whatever the class, whatever the enumeration name or whatever the enumeration name we have season, for this we created an object called cs here, and this dot cs is equal to season. Here this dot cs is equal to season means what? Whatever the value we passed from main program to here, that value we are going to assign to this dot cs. So this is a keyword here to refer the current object. So we are going to discuss in detail about this in future classes. So what it is this and how we are going to use this keyword in Java. So but for now, this is a keyword which is used to refer the current object. So whenever we have multiple objects for a particular class, to refer the current object, we are going to use the keyword called this here. So this dot cs is equal to season. So whatever the argument we are passing here, this argument is going to be stored in this dot cs, this particular object it is going to handle. Then one method we are writing here for get season and one method we are writing here set season. So public season, this particular enumeration name, then get season. This get season method is of type season type and which is going to return the object called cs. Whatever the value we are passing from here, that value it is going to return. And one more method I am writing public method for set season to set that particular value. So that particular value is again we are passing from main program here. So here in this entire program, this is the first line is to be executed by the compiler. So my class name is my demo. So we need to save the program with this name only. Then main method I am writing here. Then enum demo obj equal to new enum demo. So I am creating object for the class called enum demo. So for this class, we are going to create an object. That means what? Whatever the object we created obj, with the help of that object, we are going to access all the members of this particular class like enum and this private member as well as enumeration demo and get season, set season. These methods we are going to access with the help of an object here. Now, so I am creating an object. This is the syntax to create an object for class or the enumeration type. So here the class name is enum demo, object name is obj equal to new obj. New is the operator here which is going to assign the memory, required amount of memory for this particular object. Now, So enumdemo.season.summer. What is enumdemo? Class name. Season is enum name and enumeration type name. Then summer is the constant variable from the season. That means what? If you want to access the member from here, we are going to access class name dot enumeration name dot the variable name. That is enumeration demo dot season dot summer I'm writing. So whatever the argument we are passing here, this argument we are passing to the variable called season. So this season variable value is going to be assigned this dot cs. So the object, the cs is the object for season uh, enumeration type. So for this season, it is going to access the season. The summer is going to assign for cs here. Then, so I'm going to print here. What is this? Obj dot get season. So it is going to access this method here and return CS. So what is return CS here? Summer. Summer is going to be returned here. Then I'm trying to change the value of that particular variable. So for that I'm writing obj dot set season enumeration dot season dot, that is enum demo class name dot season, the enumeration name dot winter. Now I'm changing this value. Previously it was summer. Now I'm changing it to winter now. Again I'm printing get season. So the winter is going to be printed here. Let us see how it is going to happen. As you can see, the current season is get season. What is the season we got here? Summer. That is going to be printed here. Then we modified the value to winter. Then this modified value is going to be printed. So like this, we can have the multiple method inside the enumeration type. So if you go for next example, yes, if you see this example here, defined inside the class. So my class name is my demo, and then we declared enumeration seasons. 4 seasons I took here. Main method I'm writing, and as we discussed in the previous lecture, just I want to repeat this. I want to print all the values from this enumeration class. So for that I'm writing for loop here. Season is the enumeration name, and S is the object for this particular enumeration name. Season dot values. Dot values is a method, built-in method, which is used to print all the values from this particular enumeration class. How many values we have, all the values it is going to print. Then, so for that printing I am writing system.out.println s. S is going to be accessed everywhere. So whatever the index we have, that index is going to be worked on basis of just like an array. So winter, the index is 0, spring index is 1, summer index is 2, fall index is 3. So it is going to print all the values in this particular order. Then we also write the index of winter is, I want to print the index of winter. Here it is going to print the value, but it is going to print the index here. For that I am writing season dot value of winter. As we know, value of winter, it is going to print the value of winter here dot ordinal. So ordinal is a method which is used to print the index of that particular value. So winter index is 0 here, so it is going to print the index as 0. Then if you write season dot values of summer, what is the index of summer here? This is 0, 1, 2. So it is going to print the value index of that particular summer. So value of is a method which is used to print the value. Then it is ordinal is a method to print the index of that particular variable. When you run this program, as you can see here, first we are printing all the values from that particular list. This is a for loop here, and it is going to print winter, spring, summer and fall. As we can see here, these are the 4 values we got in this. Then the value of winter is, it is going to access the winter here. The value of winter is winter here. Then winter dot ordinal, the index of winter is 0 here. As you can see, the index of winter is 0 and the index of summer is 2, 0, 1, 2. So like this, if you want to use the index of any value from this enumeration class, then you are going to use the method called ordinal. So I hope you got this. So just we'll move on to next example. So when we move on to next example, so instead of assigning default values from the enumeration class, it is also possible for us to assign the random values here. So if you write enumeration type, I'm using inside the class here. So if I'm writing enumeration class, winter, spring, summer and fall. So by default, the index is going to be assigned as 0, 1, 2, 3. But instead of having 0, 1, 2, 3, we can also have the random values, the user specified values. Whatever the value you want to specify, you can specify here. Winter 5, spring 10 and summer 15, fall 20, like this we are going to have. Then we are going to have an integer variable value, then private. So we are going to have the private season integer value. This value we are going to pass to the main method. So private is optional here. Without private also we can write, right? This dot value is equal to value. Whatever the value you are passing from the main program, that value you are assigning to this here. Then we have a method called get value. Then we are writing the main here. So as you can see here, for loop is to access season dot values. It is going to access all the values from the season year. Then s dot get value. This corresponding value is going to be get. That means this is a getter method to get the value. And when we come to when we are creating an object for the season, and with the help of this object we are going to access all the members of this particular value. So it is going to print winter, spring, summer and fall. Along with that it is going to print the corresponding index. So when we run this code, as you can see here, winter, spring and summer, fall, along with the indexes it is going to print. So next example, if you see, so if you observe the next example, I'm using switch case here for enumeration type. Let us take, so enum day, Sunday to Saturday I'm writing here. So I'm writing my demo, class name is my demo, and main method I'm writing here. Inside the main method, I'm going to create an object for the day. So day is the enumeration class here. Then today is an object for this particular class. Then day dot Wednesday. So I'm going to access this day dot Wednesday. So then system.out.println today is, I want to print the value of today. What is today value here? Wednesday. So it is going to print today is Wednesday. Like this it is going to print. Now I want to print all the values here. Just I am using for loop as well as switch case here. So I want to print all the values here. For that I am writing for loop. Then I am creating object for the day. Day is the enumeration class here. So like today you are going to create an object called d here. Day dot values. So it is going to print all the values from this particular list. System.out.println d. So when in the first iteration the value is Sunday, next Monday, Tuesday, like this, Saturday, up to Saturday it is going to print all the values. Then so I want to demonstrate switch case also in this program. So switch today. What is today here? Wednesday. Then if case 1 is Monday, then we are going to print some message here, start of the week. If it is Friday, I want to print one more message, weekend is coming. If it is Sunday, enjoy the weekend. Otherwise, it is a regular day I want to print. As we got the day is Wednesday here, we are going to get the output as a default case because it is not matching with Monday, Friday and Sunday. Then we are going to print as a regular day. When we run this, as you can see, the regular day. Now, so in the first case, it is going to print the today is Wednesday, and it is going to print all the values from this particular list: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. Then as we given Wednesday, we are going to get this. For example, here we have a list of values in this particular enumeration type. Now let us assume I given like this, Wednesday, or Wednesday I'm giving. As we can see, we got an error. So Wednesday cannot be resolved, or it is not a field. For example, I given in small letters, for example, Wednesday. So here also we got the same error, cannot be resolved. So we need to give in capital letters only. Why we need to give capital letters? For example, here we have a small letters, no? So instead of removing and typing, we can use Control, Shift and X so that it is going to be converted into capital letter. So there is one facility in Eclipse. So if you want to convert any small set of characters into capital letter, then we need to we have a shortcut key, Control, Shift and X. Now, so we have Wednesday here, and if you have spaces or if you have small letters, it is not going to accept here. Whatever the format we have in the enumeration class, the same format we need to use. As I said now, why we need to have capital letters? Because whenever we have a variable or whenever we have some set of values in the enumeration type, by default the values are static and final. As we discussed in the previous lecture, by default the values of enumeration class are static and final. So whenever we have a final, in general the best practice is to provide the capital letter for a particular final variable. So as enum class variables are by default the final variables, we need to provide or we need to use the caps case, uppercase in when we are using the enumeration type variables like this. So it is going to have the enumeration type in switch case. For example, I want to perform some set of operations in this particular class. For that, so I'm using enumeration. The enumeration class name is operation. Then I'm writing add, subtract, multiply. So how we are writing Sunday comma, Monday comma like this? As these operations are also separated by commas, we can see here. For add method, add block of statements, then comma. I'm writing another block for subtract, comma, and another block for multiply like this. At the end, we need to write the semicolon. So I want to perform addition, subtraction, and multiplication operation with the help of enumeration type, and also I'm using the abstract method. So I want to apply this abstract method in performing these operations. As we discussed in the previous lecture, whenever we have abstract method, we should not define in the same place. So we are going to declare the abstract method in one class, and we are going to define the abstract method in another class. So as it is hiding the properties of any method from this particular class. So that's why if you want to hide the properties of apply, then you are going to use abstract class here. So now, so in my demo, I declared two variables integer a is equal to 10, b is equal to 5. Then I want to perform addition, subtraction as well as multiplication. So when you're performing addition, operation dot add dot apply. Operation is the enumeration class, and from that I want to go add. Then I want to apply this particular method on to perform this addition operation. So that's why I'm writing operation is the enumeration class, add is the block here, and from that add I want to apply on this method called apply integer x and y. So as we have 10 and 5, operation dot add dot apply a comma b. So operation dot add dot apply 10 comma 5. So it is going to pass these arguments into apply here. Then operation dot add, this particular method is going to be called here return x plus y. So this particular value is going to have the sum of x and y. So what is x and y? 10 is pass it to x and 5 is pass it to y. So 10 plus 5 is 15 we are going to get. In the same manner, for subtraction 10 minus 5, and for multiplication 10 into 5 we are going to get. So let us see what output we will get here. As you can see, addition 15, subtraction 5, and multiplication 50. So like this, we can also use the various kind of operations in enumeration type along with the abstract methods. So here, when we go to the next example, so this is called interface. As we can see, interface is also just like a class here. So how you are going to use the class? In the same manner we are going to use interface, we'll discuss later. So interface displayable, my interface name is displayable, and I am writing the void display. As we can see, there is no definition for this method, because whatever the methods we have in interface, all the methods are abstract methods here. So as the display method is abstract method, we should not write any definition for this particular display. So for that I am writing enumeration type status, enumeration class type status, implements displayable. So whenever we are writing interface, that interface has to be implemented by class or the enumeration type. So as there is no class here, this I am writing in enum status implements displayable. So whenever we have a class here, that class can extend another class, or whenever we have an interface, that interface can extend another interface. But whenever we have a class and interface, the class should implement the interface. So as the enum is the class here, the status, then it is going to implement the displayable. So now we have some values here, and then I'm writing display method to display this, then main method, and I'm creating object for the enumeration type called status here. So s equal to status dot success, this particular variable I'm going to access from this s dot display. So this variable we are going to display here when we run this code. We discussed how to use the enum and to represent the constants, and how to use enumeration type with constructors, and how to use the built-in methods like values, ordinal, and values of, and how to use the abstract methods inside with enumeration type, and how we are going to implement interfaces with enum, and switch case how we are going to write then multiple fields as well as the methods how we are going to handle. So when we come to the summary, as we have some little bit confusion still when to use class and when to use enumeration type. So when we have some set of attributes and that attributes are having behavior, that is have variables and methods which are to be changed, in that case we are going to use class. For example, if you have a car car is a class here, let us assume. And the car can have multiple properties like brand, speed, model, like this. And also it is having behavior, that is auto gear or manual gear or driving style or driving comfort, like this, whereas methods are there. So when we have these kind of properties, multiple properties and behavior, then we are going to use class. But whenever we have fixed set of values which are not changed, like constants, like seasons, days of a week, or if you have some set of menu values, fixed set of values, then we are going to use enumeration type. Whenever we are comparing the class as well as the enumeration type, in general, class and enumeration type both are used to define a particular data structure in Java. That means even though the both are used to define the data structure, but both are having the different characteristics so that which can be applied on different purposes. So the purpose is different when we compare the class as well as the enumeration type. So when we have a class here, the class can have the fields, methods, as well as the constructors. In the same manner, the enumeration type is also having the fields, constructors, as well as the methods. But these fields, constructors, and methods are going to represent the constant values in the enumeration type. But in the class, they are not going to be fixed here. So that's why enumeration is also considered as the special class. Now, so when we come to the class, the objects can be created to instantiate the class, but here the object cannot be instantiated in the case of enumeration type. The class can support inheritance, polymorphism, as well as encapsulation, but here we are not going to have that kind of concepts in enumeration type. The class can extend another class, but enumeration type cannot extend any class here because it is implicitly extended by java.language.enum, capital Enum, as we discussed in the previous lecture. So that's all for now. If you have any queries, simply comment on me so that I'll try to reply. Thank you. All the best.